Hi, my name's Amia and welcome back to my channel. Yes, first up, let's address this. I did cut my hair. I'm still getting used to it. I've just kind of woken up and just chucked it. I haven't really done anything with it yet this morning. I'll style it later for the rest of the video. But today I'm here with a first impressions of the new Revlon Colourstay cream foundation. So I used to really like the liquid foundation back when I used to use it when I didn't fake tan, so I've only got a white shade, so I haven't used it in ages. It used to last really well and had like a really good full coverage. So hopefully this one will be the same. This is a 2-in-1. It's got its foundation and the concealer. I was meant to watch some other videos on this so I knew the best way to apply it, but I kind of forgot to do that, so we're just gonna wing it today. As I say, every time I do a first impressions, I always use primer. So today I am gonna be using the Sure Mirror Razor in beige. It's a cool little foaming primer. I got this one up in Sydney when I was up there for the shoe comp, and it's really nice. It's like pore smoothing but still hydrating, which is really weird because usually they're quite like mattifying. But yeah, it's like really nice and smooth. It is kind of mattifying, but it doesn't like, you know, make my skin dry. I might take a flat top kabuki. I don't think this is right at all, but whatever. Actually, that's quite nice. Alright, so I just kind of am going like this straight into the compact and then onto my face. And this colour looks okay. I probably could have gone a little bit darker. At least my fake tan is on its last legs. So I should be able to bronze up later so I don't look silly for the rest of the day. That is like a really nice airbrushed finish. I'm not going to say it's undetectable on the skin, but it looks really smooth. And you saw I only tapped it in like twice, and that's given like a really nice coverage. I actually do quite like cream stick foundations and everything. I just never use them, but they always give like a really nice coverage. I'm expecting this one to be like less matte than the liquid Colourstay because it's a cream, and usually creams are a little bit more dewy. So hopefully that will be the case because my skin is on the drier side now as opposed to when I used to use the other Colourstay, and it was probably dry but I thought it was oily. I was a bit of an idiot back then. One layer has given like flawless coverage. Like literally flawless coverage with so little effort and blended so easily. There's a few spots where it's sitting just a little bit, so I'm going to take a sponge because I always do this anyway. Even if I use a brush, I still do go over with a sponge just to, you know, make sure everything's blended. You can see the colour isn't the best, but I can definitely get away with it. I think definitely once I set with powder and everything. Sorry, Hadley's having a little chill on stuff. Alright, now we're going to try the concealer in here. It's good. I like it because the concealer matches perfectly. So you can use on all of your blemishes. This might not work for the people who really like to highlight their face, but you can still go in with like a lighter highlighty colour anyway. So yeah. Let's get this concealer up in here. I do like that it's a cream concealer, so it has quite good coverage. And the colour matches, you know, dead on for the foundation. So I really like that. It means that you'll be able to get your flawless base. Whereas sometimes I really struggle on my level of fake tan to find, you know, which concealer exactly is matching me perfectly for my blemishes. And sometimes I end up going a little bit light and highlighting my blemishes, which I don't want to do. But yeah, no, this is a good match. It has a pretty decent coverage. And most of you will know I usually use a corrector and then my concealer on top, and that's like amazing. Like that's pretty much perfect. Like I would be happy to go out and use this as my like everyday look. I think that's really nice. It's a little bit caked up in here, but I'm super dry there at the moment, like flaking, kind of dry there, so that's probably not its fault as much as it is my skin. I'm gonna go in now with just my like other concealer just to highlight a little bit through the center of my face. I'm using like a really yellowy color just because my foundation isn't looking quite yellow enough compared to my fake tan. And I do want, you know, to yellow up my face a little bit. So if you are someone who likes to highlight your face a bit, this will still, you know, like a normal concealer, will still blend nicely on top. Awesome, I'm just gonna go set it and I'll be back in a sec. Awesome, so I just used a tiny layer of MAC Studio Fix all over, and then I set my brows in place. And yeah, I just did the flash test. As you can see, there's no flashback. The color is a little bit off, but that's just because it's off in real life, not because of the flash. And yeah, I wouldn't expect there to be flashback because like it doesn't say anything about SPF anywhere on here. The only things it says is all day wear, flawless finish, sweat resistant, applicator and mirror inside. Mirror inside, what? Instructions: using the applicator, apply the foundation, blending upwards. I didn't actually do that, I used my own brush. But yeah, it did buff out nicely with the sponge, so I would assume that it would blend out similarly with the sponge that's in there. It's just, I think it's a bit gross to use like when there's an applicator in a compact, because it never gets cleaned. Like no one ever cleans it. Don't pretend you clean it. You just put it back in the compact and forget about it until next time you go to use it. At least I do when I actually use that. But yeah, the foundation looks really nice. Let's see if it's sweat resistant. It's a bit warmish here today in Melbourne, so we'll see how it goes. Currently 9:30 in the morning, so I will check in with you guys later. Okay, so it's now 5:30 in the afternoon, so I've been wearing the makeup quite a few hours. I didn't actually not being bothered to do any eye makeup today, so I just chucked on bronzer and lipstick. But oh well, that's okay. So I'm gonna have a look and see how the foundation's been holding up. It's sitting in some lines just around here. It's looking like a bit dry and liney. I've got like a few little forehead wrinkles which are visible, which aren't normally visible. In here is still looking quite dry, but that I think is literally just my skin. I don't think it's accentuated it, it's just, you know, my skin's very, very dry in there at the moment. Everywhere else though, the foundation looks really, really good. It still looks quite flawless. It's like a little bit shiny on my nose, but nothing I can't deal with. The concealer all around my eyes though has like creased, and it's like, it's vanished from here on my eyelids, and it's like super, super creasy underneath. I definitely would not recommend putting that concealer in the eye area at all. It's not looking nice. definitely not working in that area. But the foundation looks really nice. The concealer's held up on my blemishes, I think, pretty well. Overall, the foundation's sitting really well. I'm pretty happy with how the foundation looks, I think. My pores are a little bit visible here, across here, but I didn't really use like a pore minimizer or anything. Like the primer I used is pretty much, you know, wait, what primer did I use? I did use the shimmer one. Yeah, that should have hidden my pores actually, so maybe the foundation does accentuate pores. If I take a little bit of powder, you know, if it's easy to touch up. It doesn't look flawless on the nose, but everywhere else, like, it still looks really nice. So I think that's pretty good. I don't think I have too much else to say other than my eye area is a crazy mess. It's not attractive at all. But yes, I will be back to work now, and then I'll check in probably about 7:30, 8 o'clock before I have dinner and a shower. So I'll see how it's going then. Okay, so it's 7:30 in the evening now, so I've been wearing the foundation all day, more or less. I should have probably put it on a little bit earlier, but that's fine. All in all, I have to say it's held up really, really well. Maybe like a little bit cakey in here, but I do have my breakouts in that area at the moment. The concealer around the eye area is rubbish. Normally I would use a thick concealer like that, like a corrector around the eyes and then a liquid concealer on top, and it's usually fine. So that's why I did do that technique today, and you know, it didn't work well with this. So I would keep that in mind if you were hoping to use, you know, just the one concealer everywhere, it probably isn't going to sit that nicely around the eye area unless you're maybe like a teenager and have like a really smooth eye area. But as soon as you get the 20s, into the 20s, you have like, you know, a few lines, and if you have quite a lot of lines around the eye area, definitely would not suggest it at all. But the foundation looks amazing. It's held up really well on my face. It's a little bit oily on the nose, as I said before, but generally I would use like a mattifying powder on my nose, whereas today I just use the Studio Fix. Whereas yeah, on like a normal day I would take like a little bit of Rimmel Stay Matte and pat it all around my nose and then go in with my powder. But I just wanted to see, you know, how it would go just with like one normal powder, because most people aren't going to use like 2 different powders. Let's be real. So yeah, definitely I would recommend checking this foundation out. I think it was $29 full price, which for a foundation and concealer is pretty good. But as I say with most like drugstore products, try and get it on sale, because they're usually on sale somewhere. I mean, you've got like the supermarket, Priceline, Target, Kmart, like generally somewhere they will be like 20 to 30 or even 40% off at some point. So yeah, I generally don't pay full price for that kind of thing. So if you can pick it up on sale, definitely try it out. Try and get your color. I feel like the color has matches my face a bit better now than it did when I first put it on. So if you can, you know, do probably put like a little bit along your jawline, and maybe like go shopping and then come back and see if it's oxidized, and if you need to try a different shade. But yeah, I really like it. It didn't oxidize too much, but it has like sat into my skin a little bit better. I will say these little scars here are showing a little bit more though as well. But yeah, that was my first impressions of the new Revlon foundation. I hope you found it helpful and informative. For those who don't know, my skin is normal to dry and dehydrated, with the occasional breakout. So if you have the same skin type, maybe you'll have a similar experience. And if you have a different skin type, comment below your experience with this foundation so that others with like oily skin or whatever can check it out and know how it went for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.